It's time, ladies and gentlemen, we can wait no longer. Cast frontman John Power joins us now. Hello, John.
Hello, Graham. How are you?
I'm very well. What a time to be the cast frontman. Cast are busy.
We are busy, yeah. It's exciting times again, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's firstly, it's good to be back, but it's good to be back with some new music that we feel is captured an energy in that, you know, and
Yeah.
So things. I'm talking to you. We've got the record out.
Yeah.
We've got tours and things and gigs and all sorts of things going on.
The album. Let's talk about the album. This is Love Is the Call, and that's going to be on the 16th of Feb.
That's right. Yeah.
So you can pre-order that now.
Yes, correct, Graham.
Have you ever pre-ordered anything, John?
Fast food. I don't. I don't know.
I think I
really.
might have pre-ordered a book once, well, only by accident.
Yeah,
I thought it was out.
I'm not really a pre-ordering sort of
yeah,
guy.
and yet that we're all told, get people to pre-order.
I'm very impulsive. Spontaneity is my thing.
Yeah, but we're hoping people do.
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of people out there.
We're hoping other people live differently than we do.
They like to pre-order stuff. That's
come
right.
on,
yes.
Pre-order that album. It's out on the 16th of February, and I'm told that the album started with one track. You did one track.
Well, basically, it started with a conversation with Alan McGee. And, we were talking about things, music and all that. And he just kind of told me quite clearly, John, what you've got to go and do is go away and write a fantastic record. Not just a good record. Go away and write a fantastic record. And I kind of instantly, I just kind of knew what he meant. So I went back and found this kind of place, for like an inspirational place that I hadn't really explored really, and it was this place that I'd kept fertile, shall I say, between the end of the band I was in, the Lars, and the beginning of Cast, which was All Change. I had this little space that I'd never really gone back to because I'd looked at those two bands as separate entities instead of looking at it as just me, one. And so I went to this place and I started getting really.
So when you say the place, do you mean kind of like songs you'd kind of half written, or?
No, it was more an idea that I'd kept close to my heart, kept dear to myself. It was a place where I could find inspiration to not parody something that had been successful, and not try and imitate something else that I may
exactly
have been.
What you mean.
So I had to find this real, and I had it there. This is the record that I'd always wanted to make. The band needed to make, but had never made it. So it feels like a debut, really. It's fresh, it's got all this energy. And that was the magic, I think, that I kind of plugged into.
And I love, it's so old school. So you decide, let's make an album. Let's go to Spain. I mean, it sounds like a disastrous idea. Because suddenly, look at all this red wine and tapas. What album?
Well, it was, we worked with a guy called Youth, who's like this amazing.
What's his name?
Youth. He's a massive. He's actually the bass player in Killing Joke.
Okay.
But he's also a massive producer. He's made loads of hits, done loads of great music. But he's got this studio he built, Space Mountain, in the Andalusian mountains, about 40 miles from Granada. And we flew over there last January, while it was all grim and rainy over here. And we landed in the mountains there, and we had 3 weeks, blue sky, wind howling, but just this great creative process, all these kind of almond groves all over the place. But we really got into this kind of rolling routine, up in the morning, writing lyrics, arranging, going downstairs with the band to record, and we just captured the wind in our sails. And I was a little bit, it's that fine line between excitement and anxiety, where you've got something that you want to make and you've got all these big ideas for it, and then so once it started rolling, we kind of I just ran with it, and I just knew I was onto something that felt really good. And it kind of liberated me to talk to you and say, go on, sorry.
But it just must be that thing, the pressure to come home with something.
Yeah.
You can't come home from Spain kind of going, no, didn't happen.
Just like a donkey and a sombrero or something like that, and a red wine stain on my T-shirt. We've been doing the album, darling, honestly, But, we came back, and it basically, I think when you as an artist, there's many times where I've tried to like write things or do things, and good intentions, and they're always good of a certain standard. But when you do and make something that genuinely captures the vision of what you set out to do, then you feel liberated. I feel detached. I don't feel so, even though I'm really talking to you about it. I just don't feel that needy that I've got to. Oh, you've got to like it.
No, but I can tell you're very proud of it. And you're very pleased about it.
I feel quite confident and cool. Shall I say about it?
I tell you what, let's play the single, and we'll talk about everything else going on in your life. What can you tell us about Far Away? What do you want us to know?
Well, Far Away is that sort of classic pop song, I think, on this record. It's kind of, the voice that we all have. Sometimes, it feels like you're so distant from yourself or from people aren't, it's such a fast moving world that sometimes you can find yourself just kind of calling out to the ether and not finding anything. But this song is probably about the fact that we all recognise that feeling. And it's just an ethereal sort of wistful pop song about that. I don't want to dissect it too much because then that puts it in a box.
And it'll be dead on the tape. Here it is, Cast and Far Away. More with John after this. Let's talk about live gigs. You are doing your own tour, your own headline tour. That kicks off very soon.
Kicks off on March the 1st in Glasgow. So that's going to be, we're really looking forward to that. We're going to be playing obviously some of the old classics, but obviously we're very excited as a band with the new material. We'll be doing, a lot of that as well. We're also playing for you lot, aren't we, on the 14th?
Yes, so on message, so on brand. You're doing a very special Valentine's night gig here at the top of the tower. Yes. And you've just seen the space.
I just had a little look at the space. Yeah. What a space. I mean, firstly, we're like right up. You can see right across London's skyline. But it looks like a really good place for a band. It's going to be a full band performance. Valentine's Day. Love is the call. I mean, where are we going with this?
I know. And you're seeing it during the day. Yeah. In the evening, it's even more spectacular.
Yeah, you were saying that. I can imagine jewel inladen sort of.
Beautiful. Yeah. We should also mention your summer gigs.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Okay, so we're doing, as I say, once we hit the road in March, and then we go out again with Liam Gallagher in June. We're opening on his Definitely Maybe tour, which is amazing. It's a massive thing for us. It's a great... Firstly, it's going to be a great show. Liam's, I get on with Liam. I've got a good history with him. He's doing Definitely Maybe their album, which is their debut. We're going to be doing songs off All Change, which was our debut. We're doing a few new songs as well. But it's a great opportunity to reconnect with a lot of the audience maybe who love Cast and don't realise they do because it's been so long and also new kids who go on the show. So it's a massive year for us.
And what does that do? Because you're doing your headline gig as Cast. Do you approach it in exactly the same way, or do you have to kind of go dial your ego down and kind of go, okay, we're opening for somebody?
Well, no, I think the band performing at the moment or the last couple of years, we've hit this we really are on the top of our kind of arc. We're just kind of been doing it for so long now that we, as performers, we've got a looseness that you just don't understand when you're young because you're intense, you're trying, you think speed and intense energy is what it's all about. Yeah. But actually there's a looseness that we've got. So, no, we'll just be doing our thing. Wherever I perform, whether it's in the Virgin show, or whether it's in front of 20,000 people with Liam Gallagher, or it's on our own tour. We once I hit that chord, sing that first note of the melody, I'm in the zone.
And is it different, when you're doing, in a minute we're just going to play, we're playing All Right from that film. Yeah. When you play something like that, is that like putting on old slippers? What's it like compared to playing the new stuff?
No, well, I'm going to tell you the truth now. There was a time 20 years ago or 15 years where I stopped playing all them songs, all the old stuff, all the songs that made the band successful, because I kind of fell out with who I was and I just couldn't go back to it. I wasn't interested. And then over a period of time, I made my peace with myself and my peace with the songs. And I was talking recently about how when I'm singing Walk Away or All Right or Fine Time or any of those great kind of earlier Cast songs, they feel as fresh. They feel as fresh as the day. I mean, I've rediscovered the beauty of performing right in the moment. And so they don't feel, I feel like I've just written them.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's a beautiful place. And that's why maybe I'm full of enthusiasm for playing the old stuff, because I've balanced it with new stuff now as well,
Yeah. But also, I always think with hits...
So no slippers, Graham.
Yeah, no slippers. But I think with hits, it's always weird because... yes, they're still your songs, but then they kind of belong to the audience as well now.
Yeah, that's the truth. Basically, people interpret a song. I can say what it's about. I can perform it, and I can put my own sentiment into it or emotion. But it's the people who listen who give it a life of its own.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Walk Away, for instance, some people go on about the 96 kind of European Championship. England got knocked out and the whole nation were crying to walk away, you know. But other people, you know, they come up and they say, this was, you know, I was in a relationship and I didn't quite know how to get out of it, and this gave me, or I was doing it. You know, there's so many stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I see people kissing and crying, you know, in the audience. You see these emotions, and I'm like, well, you know, some people are just. I think that's the beauty of music. This kind of abstract aesthetic that people can grab hold of and give it life. Tell their own story, their story, to the sound of the song, like, you know.
Well, hopefully people will be kissing and crying at the top of the tower on the 14th of February for your special gig where you're playing new songs from Love Is The Call as well as some of your hits. And if you want tickets for any of other Cast Live dates, you can go to Castband, all one word, castband.co.uk, and you'll find all their schedule there and all the dates and tickets and everything. John, thank you so much for coming to see us.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Lovely to talk to you. And here's a blast from the past. It's all right.